So at first I was making a video about, note-taking systems, outline, mind map, the coordinate system, but then I realized that was useless. I mean the video, not the systems. The systems are really good. You can Google them. And that was the thing. You can Google them easily, and there's probably 1,000 videos for every system in this platform. So what good was to make one more video about it? So instead, I decided that maybe I should just give you a couple of tips, because it doesn't matter what system are you using for taking notes. If you're not doing it well, it's not gonna be good. But in our case, for the University of the People, the question is, do I really need to take some notes? Because I have all the information on the computer anyway, stored there, and I can access it whenever I want. My answer, it's going to be always yes. Yes, you want to take some notes. For a couple of reasons. First, you want like a short version of whatever you're trying to research or whatever you're reading, instead of having a bunch of textbooks with all the things that you're not interested in. And because whenever you are reading something or, watching a video or whatever, and then you write a summary of all that, you retain more information. So how do you want to do it? Well, first, use your own words. That's really important. Don't copy a section of the textbook or create a script for the video you're watching. Use your own words. Of course, you will have to copy whenever you're trying to convey a really obscure and difficult concept that is using names and whatever. But for the most part, just use your own words. This is important because whenever you're going back to those notes, you need to remember easily. And for writing in your own words, you have to understand the concept of whatever you're writing. So you're going to be forced to understand it and then to give you cues for you to remember easily. Also, don't write everything. Don't just get a textbook and just copy everything. Just take notes of the core information, of the things that are really, really important. How to know what is really important? Well, on a textbook, a lot of the times, there's bolded words that are obviously important. That's why they're bolded. On a video, there's probably going to be some text, and wherever it is on text, it's probably really important. And if you're in a lecture, the guy that is in front, it's probably going to give you some cues with the body. And sometimes they're going to write something on the blackboard, the whiteboard. If there is a projection, there's going to be words in it. There's going to be clues about what is really, really important. But let's go back to the textbook, because that's kind of like most of the things that we're going to be doing, taking notes from textbooks. The first thing I would recommend when you are taking notes from a textbook is just to take a look of the chapter first. See how long it is. Does it have some graphics and tables? Is it divided in sections? Just take a look first and see what is it about. And then whenever you're taking notes, just read 1 or 2 paragraphs and see if there is something important there that you need to put on your notebook. And then keep going from there all the way up to the end. And that's pretty much it about note taking. As long as you're doing it well, you'll have no problems, no matter what system you're using. But there is one more advice I can give you, and that is the most important in my opinion. And it is for you to pay attention. Doesn't matter if you're just watching a YouTube video or going into a lecture, reading a textbook or an article on the web. The best way I can put it for you to understand what I'm trying to say is this. When you go to see a movie, you go and see the movie. It doesn't matter even if you're watching in your home. If you see a movie, you can tell then the plot and the story and probably a lot of details about the movie to someone else. But then you go to a lecture and after that you remember nothing. That's because you were paying more attention to the movie than to the lecture. That's because you were paying more attention to the movie than to your textbook. You need to pay the same attention to the movie, and you're doing that for fun, and you don't even know that you are paying that much attention. But when you go out of that movie, you can tell someone pretty much the entire movie. And you can remember details for months and even years after that. Imagine what you could do if you go to the movies and you also take notes of whatever is happening. You will be able to tell the entire thing from the beginning to the end. But you know why you can do that? Well, for a couple of reasons. First, if you are going to see a movie in the theater, it is dark and you can only pay attention to the screen. So you're not distracted. Unless you're one of those guys that, keep using their cell phone whenever it's in the movies. In which case, first of all, shame on you. Don't do that. You're annoying. And second of all, you're probably going to be able to remember less things if you're not paying attention to the movie. And the other reason you're able to get so many details and remember a lot of things about the movie, it's because it's entertaining. I understand it. Sometimes going into a lecture or reading a textbook is really, really, really boring. So you have to try to trick your mind, maybe. The trick that I personally use is to try to make it a movie in my head. Try to visualize whatever I'm reading. But that works for me, not for everyone. Whenever I'm reading a textbook, if there's something I don't understand, I just go to the YouTube and search for that thing. There's probably going to be like 100 people trying to explain the same things, all using different methods. And depending on the subject, like for instance, when I was studying biology, people were using drawings, videos, 3D animations, just text, a bunch of things. So I was always able to find something that I really understood. But whenever I get distracted, I was just reading and reading and reading, and I didn't understand it. I was just not paying attention. And after I finished the entire chapter, I realized I didn't get anything from it. So that is actually the most important tip I can give you. Pay attention. Imagine yourself going to the movies whenever you're reading one textbook or watching a YouTube video. Most of the time, if you are really paying attention, you won't even need to go back to your notes. And that's it. I hope it was helpful. What's your method? Comment down below and I'll see you in the next one.